the new year, and it's the first podcast of the new year.
Yes.
So
we are. Yes.
Walden is the first one.
Let's go.
It is the first podcast
Good job,
of the
team.
year. So
I like it.
When I was reaching out and I was trying to like squeeze in like anyone want to do the 23rd of December, which everybody said no. I don't understand why. It's only 2 days before Christmas. And you guys were like, we'll do the 3rd of January. And I was like, man, I need to get these like podcasts in. But, here we are.
Yeah.
You're the first podcast of 2025. So
Solid.
that means tons of sales in 20. You have the most opportunity because you'll be the first one posted.
If you're not first, you're last.
Don't blow
it. Exactly.
Don't blow it.
So what is new at Walden? So last time I think it was like a March-ish.
Yeah, it was
podcast, and a lot has changed. A lot of home site has changed. New faces, elephant in the room.
Oh, hello.
Alli's here. Not a new face to the podcast. Alli has been on more than anybody. She's the veteran here, representing multiple communities every time. But she has now shifted again. So new face at Walden. So we now have 3 lovely. Sorry, Joe. Lovely salespeople. He's like, I'll take it.
They're called a lot of things. Lovely's not been one of them in a while. But I'll take it.
He's like,
I'll log it up here.
but thank you, Cory.
Thank you, Cory.
So we got 3 great people there to help. And what's new? New model coming up.
Yeah, so currently we got a Wimbrel model under construction. It's leaseback. We're probably looking about another 2 or 3 months, but it's well on its way. It's right by the current model we're at, which is the Mayberry, of course.
Mm-hmm.
The old parking lot.
The old parking lot. The old parking lot. So no, you can't park there anymore. So that's come along pretty well. Like I said, I don't think we have any pricing on it yet, but I know a lot of people are always looking for model leasebacks, and this is probably a good time to actually start to have the conversation because we can at least kind of look at like what are the options that are included structurally. We're still working through the interior details.
Is there a lookbook yet or not yet?
Not yet. We're pretty close to it, but
Okay.
I feel like we can definitely walk through with some of the options, like the courtyard, the second floor of the Wimbrel, and stuff like that. Obviously, the Wimbrel's always been one of our more popular floor plans, so we can definitely have the conversation now because I think we all know is that anybody who always asks for a leaseback is because they missed the opportunity on one before it.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I think now's a good time to have a conversation about it. I think we'll have some more information in the next month or so, but I feel like now's a good time to kind of start having those talks because we'll have some information to at least see if it's interested or not for somebody. And this is probably, I'm pretty sure, going to be the last model that we'll have as a leaseback at Walden as well.
Yeah, because this is the 3rd. You had a Cassidy, and then the Mayberry, and now a Wimbrel. Basement or no basement?
No basement.
No basement?
I think some of the structures it has a courtyard. It has some of our most popular options with the kitchens and stuff like that. I think it's a professional kitchen. But obviously it's done really well. The designers at our design teams really got their hands on it, so they're going to make it look nice and shiny. So we're excited for that as well. We probably moving there sooner than not, but if you were to drive by it today, it's well through framing. You can see it from the outside. There's definitely some visuals there, and it's going to be excited for that person who wants that model lease back that they missed the first one.
Yeah, the lease backs don't come up very frequently, and when they do, they tend to not last a super long time.
Correct.
Because and a lot of people don't know this. When you get a model lease back, you get everything.
That's
every spoon and fork and picture, and you get and this is the other thing. So there's so I obviously sold the current Mayberry model on the resale side, and when I was talking to people about it, there's a lot of homes that are out there that are sold fully furnished.
Sure.
Beach homes or whatever. Maybe they're Airbnbs that's why they're furnished. But there's a big difference between a model leaseback fully furnished and that. Those are beds that have been slept in,
right? Toilets
that have been used. This is like used stuff. This is you guys aren't allowed to spend the night in your models, so the beds have never been slept in.
Correct.
The house is hardly used. Maybe the couches and the stools around the island, but other than that, it's all pretty much brand new furniture. And what's really cool that I was telling people is that you guys also, with it being a model, the homes are super dialed in by the time that they take the house back. Any settling, anything that you guys take care of it because this is your sales model,
right?
So it gets taken care of immediately. But also, God forbid, say that you have people come in and they happen to spill something,
which will happen.
Yeah, you don't then say, okay, well, we're going to hand this over to you. You guys want to maintain nice furniture in there, so
of course,
yeah, it's like brand new stuff. It's beautiful. And
Yeah.
it's the model house. That's a big difference.
Well, and also it's it's a reflection of who we are as a builder, right?
Sure.
So like if we won't care about the model, then what's that to say about other stuff, right?
100%.
So to your point with events, happy hours, and stuff like that, yeah, something every now and then will get spilled. But of course, it's in our best interest to always have it look pristine than not. And the people who do buy the model leasebacks, mostly they come in, they're like, okay, I can see it. I know what I'm getting.
Yeah.
I like it. And some people don't want to go through the process sometimes of picking everything out, the furniture. So somebody's like, I love that you guys professionally have had it done. Obviously, it's current with, what stuff looks like nowadays, whether it be a beach look or some earth tones or whatever it may be. But mostly those people come in after first 2 or 3 minutes. It's like a kid in a candy store. You see their eyes light up and they're like,
absolutely.
Yep, this is it. So, so we're excited for it.
Yeah, I had Adam on a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about the Kingfisher, model leaseback that's available over at Old Town, and we kind of got into it a little bit, briefly. But my biggest thing with it is a lot of builders, they build a vanilla box,
Sure,
and then they bring in their stager or whomever to say make this look like a model, whereas you guys decor direct and almost like goes to selections with like your sales team,
right.
And does it all from the ground up. So like they've picked the tile based upon the overall final vision.
It's not an afterthought.
At all.
It's a process altogether.
Yeah, it's not,
Yeah.
let's put in neutral colors, and then that way we can make the house look kind of nice. Let's start from the ground up, like before, on paper, and then build it. And and that's why they're so cohesive. Your models, they look so... Just, you walk in, there's something that feels different compared to a lot of other builder models.
Yep.
And it's because it's from the ground up, from paper up.
And we get that feedback a lot of times too. And I think, as a builder, we're always bringing in newer, exciting products, whether it be tile or flooring. And like mostly we showcase that right away too, right?
Sure.
So it's mostly there's products in there that maybe they haven't seen before because it's newer and it's out. We do get a little bit of feedback about that. Like, ooh, what's this tile? Like, I've never seen this before. So we're trying to keep up with, of course, the ties a little bit. But, Decor Direct and all that, they come together as a really cohesive unit, and they just always deliver it. So I don't know how they do it, but they do it.
It is. And they're current.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I remember when they did this 10 years ago.
That's right. It's like everybody's looking for the white kitchen.
And I think there's a lot of folks that don't know with Decor Direct that if you are visiting our model homes, and we tell this to all our folks who have purchased with us, but if you are visiting model homes and you see something you like and you think, oh my gosh, I love those bar stools, you can get them from Decor Direct.
Yeah.
And they're delivered right to your home the day you move in. So.
Yeah, you guys, it's truly, you offer a product that is potentially a true one-stop shop. If you walk into that model and you're like, I love this, but I'm interested, let's just say the Wimbrel, but I'm looking at Miralon but I want this house exactly the way that it is. Mm-hmm. I live in California but that's how I want it. Okay, done deal.
Yeah.
Like literally down to like every like soup and nut. Like you guys have a vendor who's a kind of part of the overall umbrella of the process that will handle the solar, the audio, the speakers, even the furniture and the window treatments and everything.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat that if that's how you decide to do it, you guys offer that. So it's nice to have that kind of easy process, and not have to be calling. Oh no, you can't come in yet until you close,
right? Because
we still, we the builder still own the property, so you can't be installing window treatments yet, type of thing. And so it's nice to have all of that. So and Decor Direct, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I hope I'm not stepping on toes. They also can facilitate some wall color options as well.
I believe,
so if you wanted to do paint, like they can coordinate with painters to get paint work done, or wallpaper, or like you see in a model.
Yeah, well, also like we can't vouch for other people that aren't part of the Schell umbrella, but there's tons of people that are willing to get involved with that process afterwards, whether it be painting the walls or whatever. And a lot of times it's people who did it previously before anyway. So the good thing is there's enough people out there where they can actually kind of talk to different people about what the best price and product is for them. So, the one thing with us as a builder having these homes that are being built, if they don't have the paint package, whatever, when they close, that's fine. There's still more than enough people out there that are willing to help them out.
100%.
And they want to be involved with that process too.
Yeah. Yeah, I have some vendors that I recommend, and I'm kind of the same way. I'm like, I don't know, like they've done work for me. I think they're great, but you should interview multiples.
Yeah.
This should be one of them.
Yep.
It is not slash the Cory Mayo Team, painter.
Right.
But, they've done good work. But I just tell people, if your closing date is July 1st, let's just pretend that your closing date is July 10th. And like the day after closing, have the painter come in and paint your house, and then like, oh wow, I just closed and my house is painted. Cool. Just like mentally push it out and schedule your vendors to come do that kind of stuff afterwards, and
absolutely,
which is cool. But no, again, kind of coming back, I think it's cool to have that kind of one-stop shop from everything, even the audio. And the audio is a big deal, and I'm like super going away from Walden. I'm sorry, but like I think it's been some topics that have come up with clients. So I was like, man, I really want to talk about this. The audio and like security stuff is a big deal when you're able to get that done prior to drywall going on, because people don't realize when you do like in-ceiling speakers, you have to like cut access in the corners, which means that needs to be patched. So your brand new home now has drywall patches and paint patches and all that to get. So if you can do it all ahead of time, like before the drywall goes in, like it's such a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It's just never really an option.
Right, and they're not thinking about that either,
Exactly.
yeah. They're just not thinking about it. It's not everything going on, closing date and furniture and people coming.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's not even on the forefront.
Yeah, they're focusing on, flooring colors and tile, not, we forgot about speakers. Like, what do we do then? So it's nice that you guys have that as part of the process also.
Yep.
Okay, coming back. Sorry, I went down the rabbit hole there. So you guys are from Walden, right?
Yeah.
We are.
So yes, model. We got a new model leaseback to the school. What else is going on at Walden?
Well, if you prefer to see a home that you'd like to buy immediately that is not furnished, we do have a spec home.
Beautiful spec.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
got the quick
Cool.
gorgeous spec home.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got a 2-story, another Wimbrel. It's elevation C, and that's on lot 101,
My mouse just stopped
and that is a
working.
quick delivery.
New home for the new year.
That's right.
If you really love your spouse.
Are there pictures of it, or? I know there's
I think
somewhere.
we have some, yeah, but that is the outside of it for sure. But it does have a lot of nice upgrades. It's got beautiful upgraded Tier 4 flooring throughout.
Professional kitchen with a command center, luxury owner suite. It's done really nicely.
It's done. So
Yeah.
that was actually one of my clients, and unfortunate circumstances. Now it's available.
Right.
He did an amazing job of building a beach house.
For sure.
It's beautiful.
Colors and finishes,
Yeah.
like the really. We talked about model homes. You build like a vanilla box and try to build off of it. It almost was like a decor direct type of thing that you could just kind of come fresh in and add on top of. He picked great colors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
does
it
look-
is
looks
not
really
a.
nice.
But why did he do the dark cabinets or why that floor color? It is like
It's very easy on the eyes. Yeah. Yeah.
really good picks. I think he did some. Did he end up doing the accent lighting and the cabinetry and all of that as well? I know.
I think there's some in there as well. I mean, I
think
know
so, too.
a lot
There's
of times.
additional lighting.
Yeah, I mean, the kitchen's always one of the focal points, as we know. But like people commented on it all the time. So
Yeah, it's a
he-
true 4-bedroom, 3-bath with a study.
Yep.
And it's on the market for $724,900.
Is that a loft or a bonus room?
It's a loft.
Loft.
So with a
meaning
bedroom
it's
up there.
open to downstairs.
Yep.
Yes.
Nice high ceilings, vaulted to go up to it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a beautiful home, and again, unfortunate that things happen. Why am I not seeing it anywhere?
Well, you know what else is
A
great
quick
about
moving.
that
Here we go.
plan too, and where it's located is that section is pretty much completed. So for anybody looking at a
Yeah.
quick delivery that doesn't want to go through the selections process, like Joe was saying earlier, and doesn't really want to deal with construction right next door, like that is the home for you.
Yep.
It's got some beautiful homes on either side and across the street from it, which is great. And this is going to be one thing that I think people are going to say when they look on the site map. They're going to go, "Oh, it backs up to 24." Elephant in the room. Yes, it does. You're
Sure.
going to see that when you go there, but you have to. You really have to go see it. We spent a lot of time looking at home sites.
Yes.
28, 89,
Yep.
88, other communities, whatever, and 101. And, it's like, but is this, it's back up to 24. But when you get there, where the berms are located and
Sure.
everything, it's a great home site. It really is. And,
Right.
it allowed for a lot of really nice options in it.
I would say come feel the Schell difference, because when you're standing in that home, you do not feel like you back to 24.
Correct.
You do not hear the road noise. It is nothing like that. And you won't believe me until you come and see it for yourself.
Yeah, so this is actual photography.
That's it.
Yeah, so like you can see the colors, like really good finish. Professional series kitchen, all these nice glass cabinets that are in there.
Yep.
Great color countertops, nothing crazy. You didn't go like bonkers with some, crazy, color, quartz or something. Really, a really beautiful home. Inset fireplace, 2-foot side extension. You do a rear extension?
He
Yes.
did.
Great. So 2-foot rear extension on it as well. Here's that bonus room, the loft overlooking. No crazy color, no black rungs. Sometimes we see that, or the black rungs with the swirly, which is great for someone if that's like what you're really looking for.
Sure.
It just makes it, when it's a spec home that you're selling, it's someone's personal taste. And it's like, oh, I wish they hadn't. This is kind of like anyone can step into this and say, I probably would have done it this way.
It's so ready for your personal touches.
Yeah. What level floor?
Tiered 4.
Is it a 4? Yeah. So that means it's a 5-inch plank, correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
And it's going to be hardwood, so that way if you have dogs, it'll be pretty
More
resistant
durable,
to larger dogs. It's not going to be like an oak or a pine or
Yeah.
something that's softer. That's going to be more scratched easily. Nice, color. Beautiful shower. Tile all the way to the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is done well. So this is a good one. This is at 724.
724.9.
724.9. So that's a good one. Okay, what else? What's next? I know there's a lot going on in the past year.
Well, since we saw you last, we've had just the biggest party we've ever had in Walden.
Which says a lot because we like to outdo ourselves. But go ahead, Carole.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So we launched the Clubhouse, and so our Clubhouse launched.
Yeah, it wasn't
in
open.
May.
It was launching.
It was
beforehand.
launching, exactly. So again, we've got a 5,000 square foot clubhouse with fitness inside, well used by our homeowners.
But there's a ton of space to gather, which I really liked coming in.
Absolutely
Yeah.
beautiful and huge Florida stone fireplace. There's been so many parties that have been hosted and just gatherings.
I'm sure
HOA
but this
things.
is like kind of like the Walden thing.
It's the hub.
Yeah, for
it
sure.
absolutely
But like
is.
Walden's always has something going on.
Yeah.
Yep.
And for people that are watching this, if you closed last year, you may have gotten one of my little surprise Christmas ornaments that I dropped off for people that closed last year. And as we were going through Walden, which was at night, by the way, which is I had my kids running and delivering all.
There you go.
But like, I've never seen more lights, Christmas lights, in one community. And
we
then
talk
there's
about
like
that.
the signs for your, like they have, a competition.
We do.
It's just,
We do.
it's fun to have that much energy going on, and you can be as involved in it or
not.
as you want or not be, but it's cool to have it available to you. And my girls are like, oh my gosh, look at all these lights, and, and like normally that would be like what you would see driving all through Lewis.
Yeah.
And this is like all.
Walden goes all out.
Yeah.
They really do. And it's a lot of fun. And it's our 3rd year in a row that we've had our annual Christmas decor contest. So,
is it 3 years
we
now?
love alliteration there. So we call it the Walden Winter Wonderland winner.
Yeah,
And there's a
that.
traveling trophy. Nice little dollar store number Joe picked up. And so it travels from house to house and proudly sits on your mantle for the year.
I saw the video on your Facebook, on the group Facebook page of you announcing the winner and having the trophy, and I was like, this is just hilarious. I mean, and I think that's kind of like the, to sound corny, the culture of this going there, and that's cool. That's
Really,
fun.
in May when we launched the Clubhouse, I felt like so many of our folks just sprung into action with fun thoughts. And the beautiful thing is that we've got 186 households now that are settled, so they call it home.
Yeah.
And you've got 100 plus of people who are just coming from someplace else. Everybody has a different talent that they want to bring with them, and so many folks all our folks sprung right into action. We've got about 30 different clubs right now. From, Mahjong and Pinochle. There's
Needling, bourbon.
beer, bourbon, and wine, of
Not
course.
together, they're separate. Otherwise,
On
everything would get
different
halfway done.
Needly
It'd be
and
like,
bourbon.
every week it'd be like a halfway done niddling thing. So just to be clear there. Go ahead,
we
sorry.
do
A
have
very
the
short
needlers.
scarf.
That's right. That's right.
We'll turn these into earmuffs.
That's right.
Wait, I love that.
Coasters.
Crochet coasters. as far as we got.
Well, the Needlers are a very serious group, and they do meet a couple of times a week. So, it has just become a real hub of activity. We've got, there's been football watching shows and just like gatherings, rather, right
There's
around
a big
the
like
globe.
Army-Navy game that like a bunch of people piled in there for the
That's
Army-Navy
cool.
game, and
Yep.
all the TVs were on, and I don't know. I mean, I kind of feel like when I hear it, that like there's been a new group that's already started for about a month and a half.
Yeah.
And it's most like two people getting wet. I mean, we hear about it because they just stop in, and
Sure.
there's some some typical ones that you would normally hear, but then there's also one or two that like we were pretty impressed by. Like Claudia, what's the one she does?
So there is one particular group that's really lovely in Walden, and it's called Walden Cares. And
I couldn't tell. This was either going to go one way or the other.
I was going to leave it out there.
With your tone, it's either going to be ridiculous or something that's heartfelt.
okay.
I'm glad we steered away from Joe's idea.
That's
You
right.
never
Well,
know,
I've been
okay?
I've been called lovely,
Twice now.
but I'm working on the empathy, so I kind of hand that over to Carole.
Yeah.
So
We work on
snarky
it.
gets in trouble with comments to me.
Yes.
Empathetic goes to
I get
her.
snarky, I get trouble, and Joe
then
does,
Alli
has
just-
no empathy, and yeah.
Well, good.
But
So-
we're good
so-
with ourselves for
so-
25. Really, we are. Really good.
So Walden Cares. All right, nice. We're on like
Cares.
on a nice
I
note here.
wish I had brought the statement from. There's two gals who run it, and one of them did send me a statement, and it goes something like this. And I'm sorry, Claudia, because I didn't bring it with me. But we at Walden Cares believes the community helps community. And so, as such, they have started things like back to school drives for children that don't have all their school supplies. There was a huge Thanksgiving food drive. Additionally, what they've done is there's a confidential line in Walden. And if you're a neighbor who really is not in great shape and needs a little support and needs a little help, there's folks in the community that will quietly listen and be there for you. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's unbelievable.
So they've just done some beautiful things. So a lot of food drives and a lot of helping needy. And what they've done is reached out to the community of Lewis as well to avail themselves to however
awesome.
they can kind of make the community a bit better. Yeah, they're happy people.
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
yeah, this is a little bit of a testament to Walden. I had a client reach out to me who's thinking about selling. She has a one-story windmill, and she wants something that's a little bit bigger, and she wants to build something a little bit bigger in Walden. I mean, that's you
that's
already
cool.
have a whole house. Like
Yeah.
you've built this whole thing. Your stuff's already there. You're living there, and like, I don't know. Me, I have a hard time making lateral changes. It needs to be like a new change of scene for me to feel like I'm actually doing something. But she loves it so much. She's like, I don't want to leave the people. I just want a little bit of a bigger house.
Yeah.
Like that's all. So like, and I thought that was really really cool when when I met with them and they kind of went over the life of the culture within the community, and she's like, we don't want to lose that. So I think that was really neat, to hear that. That's
Yeah.
I think that speaks volumes. When someone wants to, they just want something a different shape and size, but it needs to be where they already are.
Sure.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We even have old-fashioned parades. I know that sounds so corny, but
that's good.
there is a retired fireman in the community who literally has a fire truck, like car, and he and his wife dress up as Mr. and Mrs. Claus at Christmas, and there's a big holiday parade with like the poop poop and the lights and everything, and all the kids come out and everyone's
That's
in the
awesome.
community. And additionally, there's a Halloween parade too with all the little kiddies dressed up, and yeah,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
it's really neat. And I think that there's different communities and cultures in every community,
Sure.
and it's all fine. It's great for them. One community may be a bit more, how do we say this? Into their community and kind of where they are in society.
Yep.
And others may be a little bit not, and then others are more into doing parades, and others are more about, we just want everything to look how we want it to look. And that's great for each person, and that's fine. Everyone has their personality, and they're looking to find something to fit in, and that's kind of also where you guys do a great job of it, but we really focus here of sitting down with our clients at this table to kind of go through that living in coastal Delaware is more than just bedrooms and bathrooms.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
communities, and each community has their own lifestyle, and that's really important to make sure that we're kind of hitting all on that, because we may be able to build you a house that's exactly what you want in a community that looks the way that you want, but doesn't have the lifestyle of the life the life that you're trying to build here.
Yeah.
Because so many people are coming from out of the area and they don't know. And that's really where we take our job very seriously. I know that you guys take it very seriously also, is to make sure that, like, hey, look, we're not just trying to sell you a house so that we can make money and move on. Like, we want you to be happy and love here, so that if you ever reach out to Cory to sell your house, you want to build another house in the same community. You know, that, honestly, but that was a true testament to what you guys did. You did a fantastic job. Like, you made sure that was the right place for them, so much that they want to stay in that community. And that's because it truly is. I mean, every community has their own little kind of vibe that's going on. Some are maybe, more geared towards retirement age, and some are more children, some are whatever. And, and we can only legally speak about so much, so it's kind of hard.
Sure.
So we kind of take time to make sure that we're sending them in a direction to get answers to those questions, not just get them to sign a contract. There's a big difference in that process.
Absolutely.
We're more matchmakers than anything, as I say.
It's so funny you say that, because when I first started doing this, I had a friend who's in marketing also, and she was like, we need to make a commercial of, like, you're like a matchmaker of, like, the builder with the client. I was like, that's kind
what
of
it is. Yeah. We matchmake to community, and then once we know Walden is the best fit for you, then we dive into the plans, the home site.
Yeah.
It's really exciting.
But that is kind of like the initial phase of it. So, making sure that it's this is the life that you're building. You're building the house. You're also building the life. So.
Exactly. And at Walden, it doesn't have a golf course, but I would say just the enthusiasm alone makes up for any kind of other bells and whistles. Even our folks have taken group trips together.
That's
gotten
cool.
on the ferry, like 50 of them got together and got on the ferry this summer, went over to Cape
I'm
May.
sure everyone else is super happy.
They have gone, well, and there's groups that go to Longwood Gardens. They go on there for the holidays. Yeah, so
Beautiful.
there's trips that, you can take. And at the same time, we've got lots of little kids' activities, too, and I didn't want to forget any of them. We had a scavenger hunt this past holidays, right around the Halloween time. There's a kids' crafts group. There's kids' pickleball lessons. So
Awesome.
Yep. And there's ladies groups and men's groups, and there's always activities.
That's
There's
fun.
always something going on.
And that was I had a client who bought in Peninsula Lakes, and they have like an actual event coordinator that's there. And she's like, but I'm not always into maybe doing that. And I'm like, no, you can be as involved. It's there.
Sure.
Yep,
Take advantage
absolutely.
of it, or don't take advantage of it. But it's there, because there's other communities. You walk into the clubhouse any given day, and it's crickets.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That's okay too.
Right.
But it's nice to know that, hey, there is stuff that's there that I'm gonna look on the calendar today. Am I feeling
Social.
spicy, and I want to go, or I just want to sit down and watch TV and just hang out today. You have the option, not, well, if I go to the clubhouse, I'm going to be the only person sitting there.
Right.
It's neat to be engaged or not engaged, and not have pressure of, oh man, you're that introvert that sits and doesn't. That's okay. You do
There's
your own
something.
thing.
And if you're not having fun at Walden, it's your fault.
Or it's our fault
It's
because
our
we
fault,
didn't.
yeah.
We didn't make sure that it was. No.
Look in the mirror.
It's not us, it's you. It's always you.
It's review for 25.
Well, and also, to your point with like the culture, we've had, like, for example, I know over last year there's been probably a handful of times where people have said, hey, we have an appointment at like 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock or whatever it is, and 12 o'clock comes around, I don't see them. I'm like, where are these people at? Like 12:15, 12:20, they'll come in. So sorry. I was driving around.
Met someone on the
I
street.
met someone
right?
on the street.
Yep.
I don't know what happened. She's from 2 towns away. I'm in her house. She's telling me about it. So sorry we're late. And I was like, well, that's, if you drive slow enough, somebody's going to invite you into your house there. It probably kind of works. So.
And that speaks volumes to the product. So, I mean, there's like multiple things that people are buying. They're buying the community, they're buying the culture, they're buying, the lifestyle that's there. They're also buying a house,
Right?
ironically.
Yep.
But it's, it's to the quality. How many people do you know that have built a home with you that don't want to show it off to somebody? They're like, come check out my house. Look at what I built. Look how beautiful, because they love their home. And it's that speaks a lot to now. Again, the main thing that they're doing here is buying the house, but there's so much more that they're buying also that really honestly has more of an impact on their life than the bedrooms and bathrooms and kitchen.
Yeah.
But I mean, these people, they love it. They'll just,
just
kind of suck you in. Come check out my place.
And, during the holidays, obviously we just went through is like, they're bringing people in, introducing like, this is Carole, this is my salesperson. This is in Mayberry. This isn't our house, but it's like, this is the one we think. But I think it'd be best for you because, you got really, And I'm like, so do you need me to help, or do
I don't need my help.
When you're ready to sign, just let me know. Here's
And they're like,
contract.
Joe, is the snack drawer still underneath the cooktop? Yeah, it's still there. Have your stuff, anything in the fridge. Let me know if you need me. I'll be holding the chair down over here. So we do see people come in, and they're still excited with their experience. Where it's been like 2 years since they built, just settled, just signed the contract. Like they still have that enthusiasm, and they always want to show it off. So they'll show their home. I mean, then they'll show the model home, that whole type of thing. So we see it. It's kind of cool to see because. They're literally showing off the product, whether it be their floor plan or not. So.
Yeah, and like, I mean, for you guys, what a great endorsement. I mean, a happy customer is the best endorsement that you can possibly get. Someone that's truly like, hey, I spent and invested the time and money into this, and I actually love it, and I've been living it, and it's which is awesome. I mean, it's just way better than even like a third party realtor like myself saying this is a great. I mean, the person that's actually doing it. It's awesome. And the other thing about Walden, which I knew it always, but when I was out delivering all those ornaments, it's like there is such a range of homes sizes in there. I mean, there's a fair amount of Waterfords in there, which is for people that don't know, the Waterford's the biggest floor plan. There are some big monster Waterfords, and then there's everything down to Montauk's that are in there, and kind of everywhere in between. So it is literally whatever someone's looking for, and still potentially maybe some basement sites. Or they're all sold?
Yeah, we still got some of those coveted basement home sites. So we definitely have those available now, which
right there.
Are they these ones?
Yeah,
All three going right to our basement. All three of those can be basements,
All three are basements?
as well as 169 across the street from it.
Okay.
Yep. And then we have one on the road too. Home site
28.
28. Which I don't understand. So I think it's funny because I think the other one's 28 at Cardinal Grove. I started a series called Hot Lots, and these are like lots that I think are like I don't understand why they're not sold. They're super hot, great value. Like, what's the premium on this?
It's a lot. It's zero.
So it's a $0 lot premium. Yes, it backs up to Holly Mount, but and it's funny. I'm gonna just go off from you guys for a second. Earmuffs. I am actually listing a home on this road also. Oh yeah. So it's a beautiful Mayberry. So if you're interested in something available now, give me a call. I can show you that Mayberry. But people would talk about it and say, oh, well, it's on the road. I'm like, yeah. So are all these other homes.
Right.
It's not the only home that happens to be on the road. It's not a heavily traveled road. You've got landscaping behind there. You have homes, on the other side of it. So it's not like you're looking at a shopping center. Like it's a great, and especially if you're like, how can I get in? I want the quality of the Schell Brothers home. I'm trying to figure out ways of doing it and staying within budget. Hot Lot 28 at Walden. Like this is it. There's I said, there's a 28 in Cardinal Grove. That's like I'm like, I don't get it. So wooded home site that's $15K. Like it's such an amazing lot. So, and I didn't know that this could do a basement. That makes it even more attractive. So that's fantastic.
With a little bit of special incentive on that lot too.
Oh, okay. So if you
call.
Yeah. so if you're interested, there's some additional incentive.
It's a tease.
Carol's got all the money on that one, so you have to call her directly. Throwing that out there.
Yeah, it just makes it that much more enticing. And again, and look, you guys want to finish off that road, so I'm sure that's why you have a couple extra bucks that are available to it. And again, I don't get $0 lot premium with the basement opportunity.
Yeah,
and all your neighbors are in.
Yeah.
Go knock on doors and see who your neighbors are.
Well, and you'll be the last one. So when you move in, there's literally no noise, no dust, no debris besides around the corner. So that's
And I'm pretty sure your neighbors will throw you a welcome home party because you'll have that house built. So
and then they'll be happy.
Yeah. So you're going to be doing home site 29, 27, 63, 64, and 65 will be probably throwing you a pretty big welcome home party.
Yeah.
So they've been asked us before, like, if you have somebody who wants to know, like, let me know. I'm their next door neighbor. Like, we'll help you out. Like, okay, appreciate that.
36 is like the last on this side of Holly Mount, the last pond lot, correct?
Yes.
These lots here in this middle of, I call this like a racetrack.
There you
go. These are great because there's true common space between them. They're not home sites that butt to one another.
Correct.
There's no easement. It's just 50 feet.
It was at 50 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's substantial.
Right, 50 feet. Yeah.
So you have your backyards plus 50 feet, and then in the middle of that 50 feet, there's landscaping.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So it helps add some privacy between you, and then you can also, I believe in Walden, you can also do your own plantings, arborvitaes or type thing to create a privacy screen there. So between the landscaping and your arborvitaes and your neighbor's arborvitaes offsetting, you can get some really nice, oasis feeling in your backyard.
Absolutely.
And these are the only remaining basements in 28.
Yep.
As of right now.
Correct.
That's right.
Our friend is still there, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
By our friend, I mean there's an eagle there. For those people that weren't listening to the last podcast, there's an eagle that lives here. So our friend's still there. So that's why the yellows are where the yellows are.
Correct.
Which are the available home sites. And that's what's available.
And the green is just we're not sure when we're going to be releasing any of the green. A lot of it does have to do with the eagle, which is on lot 126, hanging out there. I really want to take a moment and thank my buyers this year for giving me an eagle Christmas tree ornament.
Did they really? Oh my
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Oh my God.
Thanks.
Nice.
And not for the Philadelphia Eagles. Even
No,
though,
it was
even
a
though
true
it
Walden.
should have been, but that's okay.
That's right.
It's
Yeah.
the Walden.
Yeah,
Has
so-
anyone named it yet? Does it have
No.
We should, though.
Yeah, but I don't
have
think
a contest?
it should be. But I think for what I
Cory
feel
Mayo
like,
Team contest.
Carole,
Maybe
that
the
sounds
Eagle.
like a party.
but I think my name that I name it won't be something that would be appropriate.
I know, that's what I was afraid of. You would definitely be.
We will.
Heading in the
We'll
direction.
beep that.
It's not a
the beep button.
positive.
Yes, sir. So he's there. He's hanging out. Again, the other section we don't know. It's kind of to be determined. All those homes you see right in that corner, they're like 136 to 127, have all recently settled like within the last 2 months. So minimally, the road stops right around 127.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
crazy because again we were delivering ornaments to all of the clients that closed this year, not just ours.
Yep.
And so I'm going by lots and addresses, and then it stops, and I'm like, where the heck are these homes? I'm like, oh, they're on the other side.
Yeah.
And so I didn't expect that these were all like people are
They're
in.
now.
Yeah, they
yeah.
are.
I mean, when you guys
Yeah.
were here last, you were just selling these.
So I think between
people are living there.
We hadn't even released them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were just talking about
Yeah.
the release.
It's crazy.
So I think
know.
between
Time
like
flies.
middle or late November till end of December, we had 12 settlements.
Yeah, we had 12.
That's great. It was really cool, and to see these people like by the end of the year from a podcast that was like March, April-ish.
Yeah.
And there's cars in the driveways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super cool. Yeah,
cool.
really,
Yeah.
really, really neat.
And one of those homeowners even put up all their Christmas decorations.
Yes,
Why
they
don't you
did.
get into right?
Yep, they did. I know
saw
because
them.
I saw it. I was
He
there.
was just like, I'm in this.
Yeah, right. Even apologize for not being in the competition. Sorry, we didn't have time to share, but we'll put this stuff out. So it's okay. We'll
This one's still available. This is 89. 89.
That's
Yeah,
basement
89.
available, too.
Oh yeah.
That's it. That's also
It's a
basement
basement.
available.
Is that basement?
Yep.
It's a good site.
So what's kind of interesting about that home site, if you stand on it, so right behind it, you kind of see it now. That's an established community there. So what you see out the back here is actually
woods.
It's woods.
Yeah.
That's correct. So, and the same thing applies. All the homes are completed around it, the whole thing. It is another basement home site. There's the berm there as well. But if you were to look out the back windows of that, you would definitely see woods there.
Yeah, 100%. Because this was, for the client that purchased on 101, that was a lot that they were considering also. So
Yep.
we were kind of back and forth and taking pictures, and I was kind of helping him figure out which one worked best. And there were advantages, disadvantages to both sides.
Yep.
101 had the bigger berm, but didn't
Yep.
have the trees. This one has the trees with the lower berm. And the one thing that was a big factor, he was worried about how loud is the road going to be. And number one, I forget who it was. Of course, to your point, someone invited him in. It was like, just stand here and listen. You don't hear anything.
Right.
And that's where, when people talk about 2x6 construction, and I have a whole video that's 2x4 versus 2x6, and it goes into all of it. But people always think energy efficiency. Or they think it's stronger. It's a bigger wood, so it must be a stronger built house. And it is all of that. But what it is also big feature that people don't understand about having a 5.5-inch bay of not batted insulation, but of blown-in insulation, which is more packed, is you have a quieter house, which increases your comfort level. Comfort is all the senses.
Yep.
Our ears are one of them. It's a huge part of life is what we hear, what we see. We got big, beautiful windows, what we feel, energy efficiency, and comfortable temperatures. But that 5.5-inch bay of blown-in insulation makes that house super quiet.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
yes, you may see a car going by, but they're super quiet inside. So that's not a factor. Yes, when you're outside on your deck, yes, if a motorcycle drives by, you're going to hear it. But inside the house, it can almost be a little eerie. The first time that you're in a house that's 2x6 with blown in,
quiet.
you're like, I'm not used to this. I'm supposed to hear the birds chirping, even though everything's closed up. It's super quiet, and that's the difference of having blown-in insulation in every nook and cranny and 5.5 inches of it. So that is definitely one thing on both of these, either be the spec on 101 or potentially 89.
Yeah.
And if you don't have someone to talk to someone doesn't invite you in, obviously we can take you to 101 and you can stand there and experience it. You really should experience
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
Because it is a difference. It is a game changer. For all of a sudden, this is now a viable option. Whereas if you're standing in the middle of the lot, you're like, I don't know if I want to, experience this. It's great, and having those trees right behind you, that's your view. It really is. It's pretty. Mm-hmm. Then we have across the street. These are the other remaining pond views. A little bit different than the one that's left across the street. Mm-hmm. These are Coastal Cottage series, or
they're kind of a little bit of a mix. I mean, we do have currently on lot 11 we've got a Wimbrel, and on lot 15 we have a Cassidy. Which you wouldn't be able to do on 1 through 10. So it's a little bit different on that side. There are a few other floor plans that we've mixed in with that. The reason being that the lots there are just slightly narrower than the lots that we have across the street, but they're also deeper. So 12, 13, and 14 are deeper lots than you might typically find across the street.
So it'd be one of those things if you're looking for pond view and you're right by the launch out onto the Burton's Pond.
That's right.
Obviously, let's do some lot fits and see what floor plans would fit on it.
Right.
Yep.
So I just and hey, what they say about making assumptions, and I just did it.
It's easy living or it's comfortable,
Yeah.
something. Yeah, because we'll do your Monterey's and we'll do a Kingfisher. I'm not sure what we're calling that.
Yeah.
We'll call it home.
Yeah.
Sounds cool.
So it's not
series.
just the narrower homes. You can also, if there's a Cassidy on 15,
Yeah,
that
right.
says a lot.
So you have the opportunity of doing, anywhere from an easy living to
We'll call it that.
Or coastal.
yeah.
We are doing some coastal.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do an iris. Lilacs are over there.
Yep.
Easy
Yeah.
coastal life living.
And I know there's Southports, so I know that.
Yep.
But
And a Catalina.
yes, it's a beautiful Catalina.
Lot 7.
It's a very, very, very pretty home. No, that's great, and I really think that is the launch. Did I see something out there?
Yeah, so the actual launch is there. I think the one thing they have left to do is the path from the parking lot to the launch still needs to get completed. But technically the launch is in the water. The parking lot's done. So
springtime,
for sure.
Be
there's just
rocking and rolling.
Yeah, there's always been some people who've been adventurous and have gone out there regardless. Because you can tell because they're on their water with the kayak. So kind of told on themselves.
Wonder how you got there.
We weren't there. I saw you. I waved at you. Here's the picture. Obviously that's a 44-acre pond. So
Is this fresh or is this tidal?
It's freshwater.
Is it?
And apparently there's some pretty good fish in there per our construction manager who does it off hours.
There's a lot of folks
In his
our
kayak.
community.
He's a kayak fisherman, so he told me all about it. But
Yeah, that's cool. So, what would you just kayak around? Is anyone paddleboarding?
So stand-up boardings, paddleboarding is one of the other things. Of course, non-motorized boats or anything will be on there, so it's going to be calm the whole time. It is not connected to the bay, so you don't have to worry about the constant tides coming in and out. It's going to be pretty calm.
Or just go sit down and chill on the water.
For the most part, there's
have a glass of wine.
Yep, there's that little kayak launch area which can be doubled as a fishing dock, which I can attest to having a 9-year-old son. Not there, but somewhere else.
Potentially.
But so that's a little bit left to do there. But about the same time people are looking at kayak, which would be springtime, we should be pretty close to getting that wrapped up.
Yeah.
Yep.
And is this the last amenity because obviously the clubhouse is done, the pool's done, the pickleball's done.
That's it.
And the pool's awesome. It has, as I learned last time, a sun deck.
Yes.
Which I assumed is a deck that you sit in the sun in. That is not what it is.
Good
It is
memory,
an area for having lounge chairs that are recessed in the water.
I always
Right.
call it a wet living room.
Anybody want to interject
from
on
your
that one
comfort-
right now?
I'm not going to touch that.
Moving on.
It's pool industry talk. Sorry.
Friday night at Alli's.
That's right. It is pool. That's right.
Oh god.
So let's look at this. Is this under? I thought there was more pictures. Okay, so the clubhouse is stunning.
It is.
Pretty cool. It's
beautiful.
really is.
Table, shuffleboard.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean so much, and this is kind of the overview. This is your. Now I'm going to pause this real quick because I thought this was the first time I saw this was down at Marlin Chase, and I thought, I'm like, man, why do they have that black tarp up? Isn't the work done yet? Like I'm assuming that's to keep the dust down. That is not what it is.
Right.
That is a type of sound barrier breakup or
Right.
whatever.
Yep.
As we all know, and for those that don't know, pickleball does have a unique sound to it.
Right.
So this helps kind of break that from going out to surrounding neighbors. So that will remain like that. Correct.
It'll remain there. Obviously, you already hit on it with the sound. Also, a pickleball hitting a chain link fence versus hitting that has a whole lot different noise or not noise.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. And then, of course, right behind it, which is very unique, you have that multi-sport court. So they actually have a basketball hoop there, which is not
That's
something
super cool.
you see.
Yeah.
You don't
You don't really ever see that ever.
Yeah, you really don't. So it doubles as a tennis court as well. So people like going there. But
Is that regulation size?
It's an adjustable one.
Okay. I don't know what that means.
So adjustable rim. So like it goes from 8 feet
Oh
to 10
no!
feet.
I mean the tennis court.
I know
I'm
what
like,
you meant. I was
I'm
just
like,
watching struggle with that.
I'm like an adjustable tennis court. It's like, do you move the lines?
Yes.
Like,
Depends how athletic
I'm
you feel that
here
day. If you just came from the Mummers
New to me,
Parade,
honestly.
maybe not. But yes, I believe it is. I think I have to double check.
okay.
Yeah.
I only asked that because I had someone who asked for Black Oak that's coming up here. They're doing like a double pickleball tennis thing and like. But it's not. I don't think it's going to be regulation tennis court. So I was just curious. That's all.
Yeah. I believe that one is. I haven't played yet, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't play at all, so I'm not that athletic.
Yeah.
yet.
I'm very good at knocking the balls over the fence. That's about.
Well, we all have skills.
That was about it. So, and then inside, hey, I know her.
There it is.
Great looking tenant or a clubhouse. Really, lots of natural light. Some cool features. I love the oars. That was like,
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
that is such a decor direct type of like thing.
I think the really attractive area, particularly, is on the outside too. We've got that courtyard out back that's got like a tiki bar, a huge fireplace,
Beautiful.
with sofas around it. When we launched, we had a live jazz band out there.
Oh, that's really cool.
Good times, yeah.
That's really cool.
But
Yeah.
and our pool is enormous, of course, with that beautiful sun deck. But
And this is the sun deck here. So
It's
not
76
this.
feet long.
This is a deck where you can sit in the sun, but that is not. This is officially the sun deck.
Yeah.
And they put like loungers in that.
Yeah, I mean,
which
they
is
bring
cool.
out they have furniture they bring out for the season, of course. So,
Sweet.
but mostly everybody brings their own chair because they'll have like their little beach chair. They'll,
yeah.
We'll put it in the sun deck and just kind of hang out. So
And what's the depth on the pool?
I think it's was it 4.5?
I was going to say 4.5. I think for the deepest, it is
Yeah.
76 feet long.
Wow.
So it's a good swimming exercise pool. There's we have men's and ladies and mixed water aerobics in the summer.
Very cool.
In there, but I believe
and
that's
who
15
is-
to 16 strokes from average.
Is that organized by like a committee or?
Yeah. So all the clubs have committees.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
I think we even had that one homeowner. She kind of just said, "Hey, I just would like to organize all of it," and she took the reins and just kind of like organize all the
does the
like
social-
unofficial activity. Event.
Yeah, that's so much work. So like kudos on her to do that because it is.
Shout out to
We have one in our community and it's just like everything's halfway done because we're all working. It's like, all right, well let's do a trip. All right, who planned the bus? And no one. They're like, oh, okay, guess we're not doing the trip. Or everyone drive themselves.
Yep.
Top lot, so that's cool. Have a little area for kids to be able to play in, and it's all fenced in, so you can lock them in there and then go have a beer.
exactly
On
right.
the
Exactly.
clubhouse.
Yes.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Hey,
Can't
I
confirm
will.
or deny, but
Okay.
confirm.
So great, nice bar there, and I'm assuming this is obviously where all like the watch parties.
The
Yeah,
watch
that's where all this
parties,
happened.
yeah.
I mean, when we opened it up, we had obviously a clubhouse event that opened up for the whole thing. I think we had an RSVP of like 3,000 to 30 for people or something like that. So the place was packed.
I thought you meant 3 people. I was like, wow.
No.
You guys really pulled in the crowd.
It's kind of one of those things where it's kind of like wherever you were kind of stuck there because you couldn't move around. But it was a good time. Everybody came out and had, like to Carole's point, we had a jazz band out back. A couple of our other sister companies, Clean Energy was there and stuff like that. So it was kind of a good grand opening party. And from then it's just really, skyrocketed.
Yeah, no, I'm glad because it was. Let's see, get some extra. Is this where was the jazz bar? Was that where?
You just went past it, back it up a little bit.
It's behind. See this?
There.
So there's a outdoor
Right
fireplace there.
Oh wow, check that out right here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what is this like? I'm assuming this is mechanicals for the pool.
And storage, yeah.
And storage. That's where umbrellas are.
So then you have the fireplace on there, and then this is like a little.
It's like an underground tiki bar.
Cool.
And
Yeah.
there's a grill.
Yep. You can see kind of grill there a little bit.
Oh,
of
right
it.
here.
Yep. So kind of first
So
come,
it's like
first serve.
BYOF, bring your own food
Yeah.
scenario of.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yep.
It's really cooler over
I
there.
know. You were just about to say it. I'm like, oh. No, that's really cool. I mean, it's beautiful, and everyone, oh, you got a gym too. I forgot that you guys have a fitness center there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's everyone's always looking forward to the clubhouse to open, and that's always when you're building earlier in a community, it's always like the constant elephant in the room of like when are the amenities going to be done? When are the amenities going to be done? So it's fun that it's done, and now they can start to live that part of the lifestyle that was sold to them. That it's going to be there. Now it's there, and they can see it and use it and start having parties, and especially when you have something that's more active. This is something that is nice, and not a lot of people know if you're not from a development side of things or ever worked for a builder. A lot of national builders, when they work with developers make money by selling the land. Builder makes the money by selling the house. So the way that you get the most land to sell is by doing that what we call the ice cube tray.
Yeah,
Straight roads, crossroads everywhere. It's how you can grid it all out and make the most amount of money. But when you look down, you just see, I call it the ET effect, if you remember that,
Yes.
where you just, all the same house, same mailboxes all the way down the road. And you can see there's nowhere to break up your view. So you're just seeing long stretches, 500 yards long or whatever it is. When you do the strolling path, and again, you would never have an eye for it probably unless you've been in the industry. It takes away money, but it adds so much aesthetic to the community because you're always in a snippet. You're looking, you don't have this really long shot. You're looking at, these 5 houses and then these 5 houses. And it just adds character to the community. And something else that not everyone may not pick up on, but I just saw and I forgot about it. Concrete driveways, not macadam,
That's
not
right.
blacktop.
That's right, yeah.
Just really adds that curb appeal and sidewalks on both sides.
Sidewalks on both sides, which is you won't find everywhere.
You definitely want sidewalks to begin with, and having underground stormwater management and those swales in the front yard, which is great. But having sidewalks on both sides is definitely a nice touch. And the concrete just looks polished.
It just looks
It
cleaner.
adds more polish. And there's plenty of communities out there that don't have it, and that's fine. You can still love life and have a great time there.
Yep.
But if you have concrete, better yet.
Yeah, it looks a little nicer.
So what else? What else is cool and new?
Wow, we're looking forward to 2025.
Yeah.
Out of our 280 homes that we'll have when we're complete in Walden, we've sold 205.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're certainly well on our way.
So how many are available now? How many home sites are available to purchase as of today? And today is the 3rd of...
Right, I would
first.
say we have 29. I think 27 to 29 is last that we've got available.
As far as
now.
available in total or currently?
Like
right now.
yellows.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's about 27.
Yep, that sounds accurate.
Is it really that many? It's so funny.
Because you got a couple across the street. And I think,
yeah.
so there's 3 there. But yeah, I think that number's pretty close.
And then like these greens, obviously we know these greens are, a lot of that's pertaining to the Eagle. Are these also within the kind of that radius? Of where
Yeah,
the
so
Eagles-
those home sites there were actually once available to be purchased. But what happened is we sold all the ones around it. And then we got to a certain point where they couldn't start that home to where it could be underneath the roof, which is what required in the Eagles area. So they had to take them away from us. So those home sites, there's some pretty good ones there. I know you see the ones in the middle. That one on the corner is pretty attractive.
This one?
That's arguably one of the largest home sites we have right now. It's basement feasible. It can be a side load, like a true side load, like from the side of the street, not just from the front. So that's one that we have a lot of people kind of talking about right now. So I feel like, sooner or later that could be released, again, to be determined. But All those that are within that little circle are the reasons why they're not available, but then the ones that are sold right around.
And that's because there was a certain cutoff date as to when the home had to be under roof.
Yes.
So if that date is 1 day later, based upon the start times, we won't be able to have the home under roof in time,
correct.
meaning it's going to sit there. You wouldn't be able to work on it.
Right.
So it would be open to the elements for however many months. You guys obviously aren't going to do that.
Right.
And you can't touch it because I'm assuming, is it noise?
It's noise.
Yeah.
It's noise, and it's weird because you could be literally underneath. You could be working in the house all day long and making as much noise as possible, but it's the outside noise that has a big rule against it. So we've danced around it. We've had some success, of course, with those lots that are around the corner there, and I think this next year we're going to have probably some more success in that area too.
So potentially at some point in time, there may be some additional yellows. And again, and for someone that is at that time when they come up, you got to make sure you're jumping on it because they couldn't go green again.
That's the other part of it. I feel like we have a short window, but also if somebody was to say, hey, home site 156 looks good, from what I've heard, we need to have conversations yesterday because when it becomes available, we don't get, we don't get this huge notice. Mostly it's like, hey, have you seen a site plan recently? Because that's now available. Now, granted, sometimes we'll have a little bit more heads up when other sections are open, but if the goal would be to get to a point where we're just waiting for it to open after we've done pricing.
Yeah.
We've talked about how the process works. We reviewed contract, just how everything works. So that way, when it does become available, we're just celebrating the moment, not restarting it. So,
wow. That should be a coined phrase.
I don't know what happened. I just went dark there. I passed out.
Celebrating the moment.
I just passed out.
I liked it. It's very nice.
Sorry.
Very well done.
Yeah, it's but no. That's a great point, and you could get bogged down with getting your pricing together, and someone else scoops in.
That's what we
that
have.
is already
Happens
set
all
up,
the
so,
time.
Yeah, we've seen
And it's unfortunate. We don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
We want to be able to help you right then when we have the information. So like Joe said, it's always a good time to have a conversation and figure out when to do it.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I totally agree. So, so I'm sorry, you said 27 home sites?
Mm-hmm.
So currently right now, 27 opportunities of getting in, including some basements, including some pond views, and which is all great. Mm-hmm. Current incentives is the standard 24.5, so we're 10,000 on the platinum, which is using the preferred lender and title and all that stuff. And then we have 14.5 of Schell dollars to use, not at Schellville, to use on your house.
It's a lot of ornaments.
Luckily, Cory, the lots that are available, the pond lots that are available in Walden Overlook, those premiums are half price right now.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. And so let's get an idea on what that actually means.
Somewhere around 12.5.
Mm-hmm.
So there
That'd be 15.
is that okay? So that is reflecting the original lot
That's the
premium.
original.
So you're looking at $15,000 lot premium. So that's great, awesome. And I'm not trying to hold you under the gun. I don't know if you can. So you said that there's some kind of extra. What is that? Is there a range as to where you think that extra is? Is it $10 to $100 or good?
We'd probably talk.
Let's talk.
Between 28 and 89, I think we'd talk a little bit about your basement and maybe
Okay.
helping you out
So
a bit with that.
if we're trying to get into something, and we're on a budget, this is one that you should be.
Absolutely.
We should be having conversations.
Yeah, absolutely. And then
89 and 28. We
Yeah.
Oh, 89 on the other side also.
Yeah.
So
And then some
for
other
people
thoughts about it,
watching.
with our price point, we're still one of the most affordable options for Schell. So when it comes to Mayberry pricing, Wimborough, whatever it is, it's going to be tough to beat that plus, any additional incentive. So it'd be a good time to take a real good look to see if it's a match for you.
Yeah, and here's another thing, because not everyone is aware of this, but Schell Brothers is not blanketed with their offering. And what I mean by that is you fall in love with a Cassidy and you fall in love with Brentwood, and those pieces of the puzzle don't fit
jive.
together.
Right.
So
Right.
different communities have different floor plan opportunities. You are primarily, a courtyard series community, meaning your Wimbrels, your Chesapeakes, Cassidys.
Yeah.
So if you are looking to be in a courtyard home, there's very minimal opportunities right now. You have Miralon, which is out in Milton.
Yep.
You have Welch's, which is in Lewis, which is a great community, but that's higher price point.
Right.
You have Peninsula Lakes,
Right.
which if you love a Cassidy, if you went to Miralon to see this amazing Cassidy, you fall in love with it, and you fall in love with Peninsula Lakes. They don't fit together,
Right.
Because you can't do a Cassidy there, so you got to come to Walden. So, but this is of the 4. Did I just name 4? 4
Yeah.
communities that you can do the Courtyard Series in. And within that, there are limited opportunities for wooded or pond. So
And
it's,
same
it's
thing
a little bit.
thing with basements, like
Exactly.
So I mean, if somebody really was, a basement was one of their top priorities, I think you're going to limit that search down even more.
Yeah. Yep. No, totally 100%. Can you do? You can't do a Mayberry on any of this, can you? Sorry, I have a client who wants a basement and a pond and a Mayberry of those 3. So
Chubby house.
Put it on the Christmas
yeah,
list.
I know. Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Is that anything else that's special, unique going on since our last or upcoming or?
Yeah, I think it's been, first off, welcome, Alli.
Thank
We're
you.
delighted
Yes.
to have you. And Alli has mentioned since she's been in Walden
Yeah.
that she didn't really realize how close we are to grocery stores
Yeah.
and how close we are to restaurants and your pharmacies.
I've been in a ton of different communities over my time with Schell Brothers. And when I first came to Walden, and I was raised in this area, I don't know if that's a good thing to say and not know all of the area, but I really didn't realize how close we are. I mean, we are just a couple minutes away from restaurants, grocery stores, pharmacies, just like Carole said. It's truly amazing. So not only are you 15 minutes to the beaches, to Route 1, but I mean, less than that, but you're even 3 minutes to grab milk when you forget it, or eggs, and it's not like that at all the communities. So I thought that was really special.
It's not, and to your point, and I want to just expand on it a little bit, because we could be the same driving distance from a community here, but you're going to be interacting with Route 1.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not that. It is,
It's
you're
easy.
you're quick going inland, getting away from the traffic, coming down just past Baywood to this intersection, and I mean you've got different restaurants, Yellowfins, you've got Asian cuisine
Surf
in
Bagel.
there. You've
I was
got
going to say Surf
Brickworks.
Bagel.
Yeah, Surf Bagel. You've got a Harris Teeter. You've got a
Yeah.
Giant. You've
Yeah.
got a Weiss. You've got 4 gas stations. You've got public golf. You have a lot right in kind of your backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But without having to go to Route 1, which again, yes, there's only certain times of the day and certain times of the
Sure.
year that it gets trafficy, but to really not really have to engage at all is great. And not like one grocery store, multiple grocery stores and
That's
multiple
right.
different or go around the corner and go to Paradise Grill, which is
Right.
Exactly.
a whole lot of fun.
That's
Many
another
fun
podcast.
times there.
Yeah. And the other one, which I think gets overlooked a lot for some reason, but going to Baywood Greens to their clubhouse
Yeah.
for it's open to the public.
Yeah.
Amazing food there.
Yeah, we talk
really-
about it actually a little bit. Like we have a lot of couples that go there for whatever dinner special night there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's it's funny because when you go into Baywood, they advertise exclusively public, which I think is pretty interesting because
Exclusively public.
so the golf course is nice. You're going to probably lose a decent amount of golf balls if you have my handicap, but the clubhouse itself is pretty cool. It always has solid food, solid service. They do a lot of wedding venues from there,
Yep.
so it looks really nice.
It's a beautiful venue.
Beautiful,
It's really
yeah,
beautiful.
so
like
I'm-
that cascading like waterfalls when you
Yeah,
come in.
yeah,
It
so,
is like you would never think that's a land lease community,
Right.
And they truly use the money from the land lease to put back into the community
Yeah.
for the people.
Yep.
But it's open to the public, so you get to take advantage of it also.
Yeah.
Which is it's super.
So it's kind of like when people say, like, do you have a restaurant in your clubhouse? We're like, no, but
kind of,
but they do.
yeah.
So
and they're right around
Two
the
doors
corner.
down.
Yeah.
and you don't have to pay for it.
And it's really
Exactly.
pretty.
Yeah.
Great
And that's
views.
another thing too. Not to cut you off, but you don't have to pay for it. I mean, our HOA fee is $125. I was
Yeah.
like, you're joking.
Yeah.
You're kidding. And you get just enough amenities. Like, what more do you really need?
Yeah.
Yeah, and and I have this discussion more now because communities in general are kind of going one way or the other with the included lawn care,
Yeah.
and that's always you're like, what do you mean it's not included? I don't want to have to worry about doing my grass. That's part of the reason I'm moving down here. I'm like, yeah, no one does. I don't either. My community doesn't include it. The nice thing is, it really is kind of like 6 one way, half a dozen another, depending on what it is. So it's
Yeah.
like, all right, it's great to have it in your community that's included. Everyone's grass gets cut. You don't have to worry about it. But you can also, like my community doesn't include it. And the nice thing is in July when it's hot and the guy comes up and knocks on the door and says, hey, it's been like a couple hot weeks and the grass isn't growing a lot. I think, we're not going to cut it this week. And I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
And I don't pay for it.
Right.
Or
Exactly.
now,
in the off season.
Yeah, you don't pay for grass cutting. When you have it baked into your HOA, you're paying for grass cutting in February.
Yeah, and regardless, they're going to come by.
Yeah, or if the guy's not doing it quite the way you wanted to, you can hire someone else. Or you want to use one of those old reel mowers because it cuts a certain way. You can hire a guy that does that. You can do it how you want.
Yeah,
and you're not forced to then pay for it in your HOA and then pay for someone else. So
I think you're right.
It feels
there.
the same way. It's the same way of living.
It is.
You just have another bill.
And what I've heard from some homeowners too is I like to know that like they can fire their guy.
Yeah.
Like, so
100%.
You have some communities, which I live in once myself, where it comes included. Like the zero turn lawnmower guys don't care what's going on in my yard. They're just going to go over and mow it. So there is a little bit of a standard there where if you don't like what the guy's doing, they can say, "Well,
they're not bagging the clippings. They're not doing whatever it is. Right. It's like, hey, thanks, And they're all on average, what I've found, at least in my community, like $28 a cut. Like, it's pretty cheap to just sit there and have your drink and say thank you for doing a great job. Weed whack and blow it all off and make sure it looks all nice. And
there is that small handful of people that are like they don't know what to do now because they retired. They're like, it's not that much. I'll cut it myself.
Yeah, they enjoyed it,
and they enjoy that,
and that's fine too. Yep. So I think that is great. But you also get all of the only thing you're really not getting for the discounted HOA rate is that. Everything else is you still get your trash is included, correct? Mm-hmm. You get all the HOAs, all the common grounds are taken care of for you, everything else. So it's like you get all of that at $125, and a lot of communities are starting to move up in the cost. Yeah. So it used to be like that $195 range. You're moving up in the $250s, $295s. So it's nice you don't kind of hear this price point a ton. Yeah. Which is great.
Yeah, and I pretty much can speak for Carole. Like I've never had somebody not want to move forward with the purchase because of that part. Yeah. We just talked through it a little bit, and they're like, oh, okay, that's fine. Like actually I like to do it myself, or I like to get a bigger package where they mow and blow and they fertilize and they do that stuff. So I think people, once they warm up to it just a little bit, actually, this is probably a better scenario than what I thought it was.
Yeah. And another real quick question, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer. You can do an irrigation well in Walden?
So obviously we definitely push that, and you probably know as well as anybody else. Like people come from other areas aren't used to talking about what an irrigation well is. Mm-hmm. They don't understand the process. So basically, it's going to feed that irrigation system to your home, so you don't have to worry about a high water bill. Which again, some communities can't do it. Just like if you pick a certain home site that you like you could technically still put a small pool in the backyard if you went to a Walden. So there's a couple different things there that maybe not everybody needs to do, but it's sometimes not available in every community either.
Yeah, if you call Pools and Spas Unlimited, they're a really great company to put your pool in.
Yeah. I know them just a little bit, just a little.
Yep.
But shameless plug. Go mom and dad.
I'm still waiting to hear from Baywood. I think we did a great job advertising.
Some free dinners here. I don't know.
Dinner.
I'm just saying.
GC going.
But no, and I think that again, people don't understand. Our electric here is really cheap because we are a co-op. But our water is not. Right. And the good thing is that if you look at kind of the percentage, and if it's a high percentage increase, a high percentage of a small number is still a small number, which is great. It's just so if your water bill before at home was $40 and it increased 100%, and you're like, oh, it's $80, which doesn't increase that much, but But when you start watering your lawn in July, it's no longer 100% increase. It's like 1,000% increase. Now all of a sudden your water bill is $400 or $500, and you're like, "What the heck is going on here?" And then you have to call the irrigation company to come install your irrigation well. You decided not to spend the $4,000 on, and it's $5,500 because now they have to put down wood to protect your lawn, and it's a more tedious process. So I always tell my clients, I'm like, look, it is money that will pay for itself within a couple summers. And
it's
every
literally
time,
2.5 years.
Yeah.
2 to 2.5 years, you've recouped your investment.
Well, not only that, and like everyone's different. I'm a little bit psycho. I know that, and I'm always like, I tell everyone now, when we go out to dinner, I give my wife the card. She always pays. Like, I don't want to see the bill because I'll start adding things up, and I'm like, oh my gosh! And she's like, will you stop adding up all of our dinners over the last month? So like when my irrigation system goes off, my mental meter starts going off of like, okay, is it time to turn it off yet? Is it time to turn it off yet? I know how expensive this water is, whatever. So it's nice that you don't have to worry about it. It's like the irrigation goes off, you're like, oh, cool, my lawn's gonna look pretty. And you just go back to doing what it is that you're doing. It's just
right. And also, like, even if in July, like, you're gonna have to hit these lawns pretty hard with water.
Yep.
Like, nobody wants to be that yard in the neighborhood, right?
Yep, and it'll turn brown.
It'll turn brown. Yep. So, like, whether you like it or not, you're gonna have to water it. And then you say, hey, my grass may be a little bit brown on my lot. Have you been watering it? And they say, well, no. And they're like, I don't have irrigation well.
Yeah.
So
just do it, and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And it just makes. So again, we're trying to get to the lifestyle what you're looking to build here, and if you're looking for like the relaxed and like stress free. Again, you're going to spend the money eventually, no matter what, whether you want to, because you're going to be watering your lawn. So, to your point, 2.5 years, you're going to be that money. You're now at break even.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now the next month you got to pay the bill again, whereas you would not have had to if you got an irrigation well. So, just have it, and it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
You love it. You don't have to worry about having brown lawns and then.
Yeah, and people are putting landscaping in afterwards. So, like, how do you water that, right? So people are bringing that, like, bringing in the extra trees, and some people now have more time to do gardening, like. Now they just got to spray the nozzle where they want to, right?
Exactly.
So, so it is definitely a benefit. I've only known one person who has not done it at Walden, and then a year later they came down and got Aquatech's phone number to go get it done. So
and I had Aquatech come out, and it was $5,500 at my house,
and that's if you get it in like sometimes that window to get it installed. They're like, we have.
Correct.
X amount of builders that we have to get through first.
Yep.
So we'll see you in August.
I was going to say, yeah, exactly. And I never ended up getting it done because I'm like, I don't want to wait for it. And I should have, because now I would have been set up for the following year.
Right.
But it is, they're like, hey, we're booking out right now so far out. And I'm like, all right, I got to spend $5,500, and I got to wait like 4 months. I'll think about it, and then it never happened.
Yeah.
If I just could have moved in, it was just done there, and it's just so much easier. But again, kind of the guilt free, and it just makes the whole lifestyle nice. And your lawn's always pretty, and you're not stressed about like, paying for it, or I didn't get it, and now my yard's brown, or so whatever. But the reason I bring it up is not all communities allow irrigation wells.
Correct.
So, and I couldn't remember. I'm pretty sure, but I couldn't remember if Walden was one of them. So,
Sure is.
So yes, come back that big long circle path that took us down. Get the irrigation well.
To
Trust
wrap
me.
up on that, we can do fences and we can do pools. As
Yeah.
John
Yes.
mentioned, so,
Yeah. 4-foot fences.
Yep.
Correct.
You're not doing big privacy fences.
Right. Not privacy.
Which
fence.
is nice because your neighbor's not gonna have a privacy fence either. So
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's nice. Keeps it looking nice and pretty.
Yep.
Exactly.
So that's awesome. Well, this is great. Thank you. Let's do another update, not a year later. I know I said this last time,
Hey, I wanted to bring one thing up
Yeah,
because I
please.
know your audience. Oftentimes, I've heard from when I visit Ideal Living shows,
Mm-hmm.
and those are the shows that are 55 expos with tons of builders in them and developers and things. Because I know that they do listen to your podcast. I wanted to just put a shout out to make sure everybody knows that Schell Brothers is going to be at all the Ideal Living shows this season, and that starts off in Long Island on the 11th of January. So the 11th and 12th, we're in Long Island. The following weekend on the 18th and 19th, we're in Connecticut. The following weekend after that, New Jersey in Bridgewater. And then on 2/15 and 2/16, we're at Pennsylvania, King of Prussia. And on 2/22 and 2/23 in Tyson's Corner in D.C.
Okay. Yeah, I know the DC show is a good one. So to talk about that really quick, and I don't want to dive into it, too deep because this would be a whole nother podcast. But Ideal Living is basically a show for people that are looking to build. You can go under one roof and look at, typically it's the builder that's in that market. Either you're selling to people, in that market, or you're building, directly in that market. So in DC, it may be local builders there. But you can go to it and in kind of one-stop shop, go around and talk to lots of builders, get, swag, get, pamphlets and information, and make sure that you're telling every builder that you're going around. Cory Mayo is my realtor, and
Right.
I watch his podcast and I watch all his driving tours and everything. But no, it's an area for a show to go to. So you should go to Ideal Living's website, and they will also have kind of that the schedule of where you're going to be.
Yeah.
But you guys, not all builders go to all the shows. Typically, it's builders or just they go to the one in the area that they're building in.
Yeah.
This area is unique because we have the vast majority of people come from out of area. Mm-hmm. So, and not a lot of builders from around here go to the shows. So it's cool that you guys are actually outreaching and getting into people's backyards that are actually, physically, that are looking to move here, so that, if they have questions, they don't have to do the phone call. If they want to meet you in person, they can go to Ideal Living, and say, welcome, say, hey, Cory's my realtor. And, I want to talk to, sorry,
Naturally.
shamelessly plugging constantly.
Did you hear about that on the podcast?
Because, and the reason I'm saying this is because last year, you were like, how many people came up and were like, oh, do you know Cory Mayo?
They were approaching me saying,
we watch all his videos.
Yeah, it's a loaded question sometimes, but that's fine. So you know your videos.
It's another podcast.
So that's why I know that some of your listeners.
Different channel.
Another podcast, different channel.
But no, it's it's cool. And are you going to be attending all of them, or
Not all
is
of them.
Okay.
No, not the ones in January.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah.
So definitely go on Ideal Living's website and look in where the shows are and check them out. It's a great way to spend the afternoon. I worked for a builder before, and we did a lot of the Ideal Living shows, and it's a really good experience to be able to talk to. You can go in and talk to builders all in one day and go home super confused, but then you understand, you're like, all right, obviously Schell Brothers is who I'm going to go with.
Yeah.
Another shameless plug. But it really is a good resource. So that's cool that you guys will be there and stop in and talk to whoever's.
Come see the Schell Brothers booth.
Yeah, at the Schell booth, and talk to some people and tell them that I'm your realtor. So that's cool. Sorry, one last. So, cool.
I'll just hold it up for you.
I'll
Zoom in.
Post.
It's going to be one podcast, and it's me holding Cory Mayo's card.
Maybe we could have an 8x10 glossy, autographed review. Like
It's called the Mayo effect.
Put it on the table at
The Mayo effect.
But awesome, well, guys. Thank you so much. I think this has been great.
Yeah.
Another podcast that went too long, but it's so much. It's so much information, and it really. I'm trying to keep it to like a half hour, and it's just almost impossible. There's always so much good stuff and so much good information, and some podcasts are a little bit more fun than others, and this is always a fun one.
Yeah.
When Alli came over to the team, and I'm like, wait, I'm gonna have all three of them. I'm like, this is gonna.
You block out your Friday afternoon.
This is gonna be an interesting podcast.
Oh, you should be a fly on the wall for the rest of the day.
Exactly.
Oh, yes.
But thank you so much. And again, we'll do another update and kind of talk as things go on, and let's keep on keeping on.
Awesome.
Thanks for having
Happy
us.
New
Thank you
Year.
guys. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Oh, that was lovely.